How's it going, guys? Cody back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, prison news, more of it now. I've been meaning to get round to these vlogs. It's like, I think it's about 1:45 in Monday morning. I'm just busting my way through a couple of vlogs, so stay with me. The link for this story, which is in the Daily Mirror, link in the description below, like I always do. I don't know where these stories come from. It's from HMP Liverpool, or the Mansion on the Hill, or Walton Jail as it's known locally in Liverpool. And apparently a prison officer was injured in an attack after a man tries to break in to the jail. Now, I love Scousers, and Scousers are fucking mental. I know a couple of Scousers, and also a couple of serious Scousers, and fucking Scousers. I love Scousers, and they're off the fucking head, right? And this story at first, if this was anywhere else in the country, right, apart from Manchester or Liverpool, I would have been like, what a load of shit, I'm not having it. But Manchester or Liverpool, I can believe this sort of stuff goes down. I don't know how true it is. When I read the story, I've not actually read the story first. So, prison officer injured in an attack after man tries to break in to jail. Exclusive. They love that word, don't they? HMP Liverpool prison officers suffer face and leg injuries after a man tries to break in to HMP Liverpool. A prison officer who was attacked while trying to stop a man breaking into jail had to be taken to hospital. The guard was treated for facial injuries following the incident, which during he was punched at HMP Liverpool. A second officer suffered tendon injuries as he tried to prevent the suspect entering the Category B jail. A source said, prison officers normally spend their time stopping inmates from escaping. This man turned violent when he was told he couldn't come in. He punched and kicked out at officers. The suspect had approached the prison gate, demanding to hand himself in. He was told to go to the nearest police station, but then ran at the officers and tried to break through. Right. Glyn Travis of the Prison Officers Association said, this shows that prison officers face violence from all sides. The personnel involved acted professionally and dealt with a dangerous situation. A prison service spokesman confirmed the incident, saying it was successfully dealt with by prison officers. Meanwhile, late last year, an inmate at HMP Liverpool claimed that conditions inside the jail are so bad in winter that prisoners have been sat shivering in their cells for weeks. The anonymous lag, who's been incarcerated in the facility since February, has said smashed windows and non-existent heating has made life inside unbearably cold. As a result of plummeting temperatures, easy for me to say, the inmate claims he's been forced to sleep fully clothed in a bid to keep warm. Speaking to the Liverpool Echo newspaper, the prisoner's sister backed up the claims and cited conditions within the Walton-based prison to be extreme. Though the prison displays the tagline, a 21st century community prison, on its sign, the worried relative likens the conditions closer to the dark ages than that of modern living. Now, breaking into the prison sounds like someone could have been on licence. They might have an argument with a bird. They might be on drink and or drugs. And they might have just, I don't know, they could have been made homeless. They've turned up at the jail. At first, when I read it, I thought, oh, it might be, they've gone on a visit. They've been refused entry to the jail because they might have just got out of there. And that's why it's kicked off. But the MOJ have confirmed it, so I'm inclined to believe it. To the extent of the injuries and stuff, it's well known that prison officers, when they do sustain injuries, they like to play on it or make out it's worse than what it is, because they like the compensation culture that comes with injuries. They go off work, oh, I'm stressed, I'm worried, I've got anxiety, I didn't go back to work. What annoyed me about the story is that this man, Glyn Travis, he says there, this shows that prison officers face violence from all sides. The personnel involved acted professionally and dealt with a dangerous situation. Now, Glyn Travis is the right-hand man of another prison officer from that prison, who's the acting chair of the POA, or the Prison Officers Association, a scumbag by the name of Mark Fairhurst. Now, Mark Fairhurst He wants prisoners in Guantanamo-style orange jumpsuits. He wants us locked up 24 hours of the day. He wants rigid bar handcuffs. He wants powder spray for prison officers. Even though when it was piloted in 4 prisons, it actually didn't reduce violence in any which way. And violence continued to increase. He also wants tasers. Yes, you heard correct. Tasers for prison officers, tactically. As he stated in an interview that we did together on BBC Radio Wales. His aim solely is to arm prison officers. Now, the interesting fact about Mark Fairhurst, I think he used to be a physical education instructor or a PEI in Walton. He still might be. I know he's an officer that works there. He's also an NTRG officer, an NTRG National Tactical Response Group officer, Tornado Squad, or in simple layman's terms, he's a riot squad officer. Now, he has fought and campaigned to arm prison officers, the NTRGs, with taser. In September, October of 2018, that was accepted. They are now trained and armed with tasers. Not prison officers, the NTRGs or the Tornado Squad, the riot squad officers are armed and trained with taser. However, they're not authorized to use it. So why would you give somebody something if they're not authorized to use it? If this man has his way, Glyn Travis and Mark Fairhurst, prison officers will be routinely armed, guys, with, like I say, if he had his way, it'd be like America. Stinger ball grenades, fucking armed officers on the perimeter wall. That's the way he'd like it to go. He's got no empathy for prisoners at all. He just cares for his own members and his own officers. Now, violence in our prisons is a big problem, and we are seeing record levels of assaults and self-harm within our prisons. It's only a matter of time before, sadly and tragically, we see record levels of suicides within our prison. There was 92 self-inflicted deaths in 2018. I expect that to increase this year, sadly and tragically. Overall, 325 prisoners left prison last year in a body bag, whether that be natural causes, overdose, medical negligence, overdose, I've already said overdose, or self-inflicted, which sadly and tragically, 325 families shattered. The shockwave, it doesn't just stop, it just goes all the way through the family, and some people sadly and tragically never recover from that. No mother or father should ever have to bury their son or daughter, because we've obviously got female prisoners. Now, violence, they go on about violence in prisons, the POA. Now, what you need to remember, the Prison Officers Association lobbied for the smoking ban a couple of years ago. Now, for me, honestly, as an ex-con, they were trying to antagonise prisoners. Tobacco in prison's been used as currency. It's been used as a stress relief. If you were stressed in prison, you would smoke more than you would if you wasn't stressed, right? I've seen it firsthand. I don't smoke personally, but I've seen prisoners stressed and they'll start fagging it and like smoking away, won't they? So by banning smoking, there was like shaking the cage of the prisoners, antagonising them and stuff, annoying a sleeping dog. Prisoners have got it hard enough. Secondly, by banning something, doesn't just disappear. No. Tobacco then gets pushed into contraband. Contraband, what happens? Well, the price goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times what it did on the street. Where you've got contraband, you've got debt. Where you've got debt in prison, you've got fear, intimidation, bullying, and violence. Surprise, surprise. So they've actually twofold, the Prison Officers Association have actually twofold increased violence within our prisons. And then the prison numbers have been dwindling and dwindling. Then they brought back, we've actively recruited 3,333 officers ahead of time. But for the 3,333 officers they've gained, they've lost over 7,000 experienced officers. And they've replaced them with kids. People with no life experience, people that have come from working in McDonald's and that sort of stuff, right? So like I say, they want to go on about violence and stuff like that, and then they want to arm themselves. Violence will be met by violence. But like I say, someone tried to break into the prison. It's been confirmed by the MOJ, so I'm actually inclined to believe it. To what extent the injuries of the officers received, Take it with a pinch of salt, guys. Mark my words. Gonna leave it there. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.